Not been a particularly good week for us, to say the very, very least. Yesterday we drew Bayern Munich in the Champions League at last 16, as per usual. And this evening's performance against Everton was nothing short of abysmal, to be honest. There are so many talking points, I think, and there are so many things that we could have done better tonight. It was really quite awful from Arsenal. First and foremost, you've got to congratulate Everton. They've been having a rather subpar season. I don't think Everton fans would begrudge me saying that they have looked poor from an Everton point of view. I'm certainly sure Everton fans would set their standards a lot higher compared to what the type of football Koeman has been playing this season. And they went into this game on the back of a 3-2 defeat away from home at Vicarage Road. And they fought hard and they battled for the 3 points this evening. But for large spells of this game, they sort of rolled over for us. They weren't overly convincing in this match. I certainly think we should have been having the beating of them. I mean, Everton, I know Goodison Park is a very difficult place to go to, but this is an Arsenal team that really should have been having the beating of this Everton side, and rather convincingly. A lot of bookmakers were tipping us to win this game rather comfortably. It couldn't have been anything more difficult tonight. As I say, I think there are a lot of things that we didn't get spot on from our point of view. I don't think we rotated the squad significantly. In fact, we didn't rotate the squad significantly. The only real change of note that came in from the weekend was Gabriel playing in at centre half, and I think he played very well there against Stoke. I thought it was a very shaky performance from him tonight. The back line as a whole only won 2 tackles in the whole game, and they look very unconvincing, which does worry me going into a game away from home at the Etihad against Manchester City. And the most disgusting thought about this is Chelsea go to the Stadium of Light tomorrow evening, where you can assume they're going to pick up 3 points. And we could be looking at ourselves being 6 points behind Chelsea, and the last thing we want is for Chelsea to start running away with this title. And I know it's only we're only just into December, but it's kind of worrying to think that we're dropping points in games that we really should be winning. But I don't want to get in over my head. I don't want to react too severely to this result, because this is our first loss since the game against Liverpool on the opening day. We obviously don't like playing sides from Merseyside, but we can't overreact to this, because you are going to have defeats throughout the course of the season. Let's not forget that compared to Chelsea, we've played considerably more games because we've had Champions League fixtures as well. There will be points in this season where Chelsea do begin to drop points. That's inevitable. They're not going to continue this winning run throughout the course of the season. There will be points in February, March time when we have opportunities to catch them up. I mean, we could go into the new year in a very strong position still. It's not the end of the world, but tonight's performance and the tactics that I think is very worrying this evening. First and foremost, like I say, the rotation of the squad. I know in the Premier League it's different to the Champions League. You should be playing your strongest 11 week in, week out. But I think we're in a position where we've got such a strong side at the moment and such a squad that is full of and brimming with quality, that we're in a fortunate position where we can bring in the likes of Lucas Perez, bring in the likes of Olivier Giroud, Lucas Perez, Kieran Gibbs, maybe even Rob Holding, Mohamed El Nene for games like this, and still come away with a result. We need to keep the squad refreshed and healthy. I don't think we did that tonight. I think the word that would sum tonight's performance up was very, very stale, and it was very... it echoed what the first half was against Stoke City at the weekend. It was very dull. We had moments of magic in this game, but at times we just couldn't unlock the Everton defence. And it's a poor Everton defence as well. Don't let anyone fool you into thinking that Everton are a good defensive side. Ashley Williams, I think, has been very poor in an Everton shirt at times this season. Phil Jagielka, I don't think he's overly convincing. Leighton Baines and Seamus Coleman, I mean, at a point they were the best fullbacks in the league. Not so much this season. We should have scored quite a few more goals in this game, and it's telling that the only goal we did score was a deflected free kick, which took about 2 deflections on the way into the goal. We were very not at the races today. Alexis Sanchez, I thought it might be a bit harsh to say poor, but I do think he dropped far too deep in this game, was trying far too hard to make things happen. We were essentially playing with no striker in this game. He kept drifting out to the left, drifting out to the right, but no one in a central role. I don't want to pickpocket a play. I don't want to pick a players at all, but Mesut Ozil, I don't think he had a particularly good game. Walcott and Chamberlain both completely nullified in this match. They offered very little. And I do think we would have been a lot more resounding in our play if we'd have brought in players like Alex Iwobi and Lucas Perez in the way that we did when we went to Switzerland last weekend. Even if we'd have played Olivier Giroud in this game, because we needed a target man. I think that was evident right from the first minute of this game. I think if we're going to have a player like Giroud, and he's evidently not going to be happy sitting on the bench, tonight's game was a perfect opportunity to play him. If Arsene Wenger goes on about this squad that we've got and how healthy it is, then delve into it. You've got to delve into it. We can't just be consistently putting people like Olivier Giroud, Alex Iwobi, players that are capable of coming in and doing a very good job for us. We can't continue to put them on the bench, especially when players like Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, for example, tonight aren't performing to the best of their abilities. You've probably got 2 players in this team that are guaranteed spots at the moment, and that's Mesut Ozil and Alexis Sanchez. Beyond that, I think any place pretty much is up for grabs. Well, obviously that's a little bit of an overreaction, but I'm sure you can take my point on that one. We've got a squad which is capable of coming into these kind of games and doing a job. We needed to see something new tonight, and we certainly didn't see that. And it does worry me ever so slightly, because now going into that game against Manchester City, if we do go with the same lineup, I do worry that we will see more of the same. I think it was mainly individuals that didn't turn up tonight. I think on another day we would have seen a different performance from this Arsenal side, and if we do persist with the same 11 at the Etihad at the weekend, then every player has to raise their game. Everyone. The defence has to be a lot more convincing. Gabriel and Koscielny were not convincing tonight. Bellerin and Monreal weren't overly emphatic in this game. I mean, we looked poor all round. Defence was poor. Granit Xhaka and Francis Coquelin, I thought they operated well in this game, but we lacked drive. We lacked an Aaron Ramsey or even a Jack Wilshere to drive through into the final third. We missed something massively, and Everton seemed to just... I don't know, they battled harder than us. They wanted it more. And that's what it's come down to time and time and time again with Arsenal. It's come down to the other team wanting it more. And of course, pundits will talk about Arsenal's inevitable collapse, as they love to refer to it as, and they love it when we don't show strength of character. But let's not overreact. It's one loss since the first day of the season, and it's against the side that are strong at home. They haven't lost at home this season. Despite them not having a particularly good season, they have not lost at home, and I think that's that's a compliment to Everton and how strong they can be at times. But I'm really disappointed with how things have gone tonight. Touching on the goals very briefly, the first one from Alexis Sanchez, a foul from Leighton Baines on Phil Jagielka on Francis Coquelin. Wasn't the greatest of free kicks in truth, taken a few deflections. At that point, we should have really tightened up a bit at the back. We shouldn't have allowed Everton back into the game. They scored just before half-time. Seamus Coleman with a header. Seamus Coleman, of all people, how's he even getting into that position? It was awful from our perspective. Second half, we had a fantastic chance from Mesut Ozil about 55 minutes in. That should have gone in the back of the net. Apart from that, we didn't have many more chances. We were very, very limited. Granit Xhaka put a fantastic ball over the top to Alexis Sanchez. Nothing could come of that. We did have some moments of quality, but just couldn't break through. Couldn't break through the Everton defence. And it was telling of how poor we were on the evening. But Everton got a goal through Ashley Williams. I'd say it was in rather controversial proceedings. It seemed to come off the Everton player that they just brought on for the corner. He seemed to be the one that headed it out for the corner, as opposed to Laurent Koscielny, who obviously the referee has given it as a corner because he thinks it's come off Koscielny. But I mean, those are the type of decisions that can go against us. I don't think we'd be arguing against it if it had been us in that situation. Ashley Williams, fantastic header to put it past Petr Cech, and then dramatic end to the game, as I say, where we could have clinched a point. But disappointing result, but the performance was worrying this evening. I don't want to be seeing any more of that. But as I say, we can't let this go to our heads, because we've got a great opportunity at the weekend to get 3 points against a very shaky Manchester City side. Don't be fooled into thinking the league title is over because of tonight. A lot of people will be overreacting after what's happened tonight. But teams lose games. That's football. That's what happens. It's the Christmas period. It's going to be very tough, and there could be a few more results like this throughout the course of the season. In fact, there will be. So just strap yourself in for that, because if you're not used to losing, then well, I don't know what you're doing supporting Arsenal, really. Anyway, guys, on that note, I'm going to wrap it up there. Please do enter my competition where you can win an Arsenal shirt of your choice. I'll leave the link to that in the description box below. Please do let me know your thoughts on the game. Where did Arsenal go wrong tonight? Drop a like on the video if you have enjoyed it. Subscribe to AFC Game by Game, and I'll be speaking to you very, very soon.